Welcome to Cotel Copter Explainer. We are dealing with a very sensitive issue about mental health. Every family has a person who is suffering from mental health. Are you yourself sure you're not suffering from mental health? Is alcoholism a question of mental health? Is violence, domestic violence, an issue of mental health? People have been talking about this person has suicidal tendencies. What is it when somebody attempts to commit suicide? Do we blame the person who is attempting to commit suicide? In some customs and traditions, do you know if you commit suicide, you are not buried by people in the homestead? You are given a different burial. You are thrown like a dog because you committed suicide. Do you know some families will not marry from your family if one of your members commits suicide? It is a stigma, a family stigma, that goes generation to generations. Are people refusing to come to work and they are being charged for desertion, yet they're having mental illness? Is your wife shouting at you every time? Is your boyfriend being verbally arrogant, verbal violence, yet you have not discovered your spouse is suffering from mental illness? I myself have defended very many murder cases. The end result, the evidence comes that the person who killed had a mental illness problem. Let's see the governor, the former governor of Virginia, a politician who lost power, Fairfax. Fairfax was going to the ballot. They differed with his wife. He went, shot his wife, his kids, and went upstairs and shot himself. Dead. All these people are dead. The rage, it has now come out that Fairfax, the Lieutenant Fairfax of America, was suffering from mental illness. We have several cases in this country where people have been found to be suffering from mental illness. In Kenya here, the law talks, you must be taken, if you are suspected or alleged to have murdered a person, you must go for mental assessment at Madare before you take plea for murder to ascertain whether you are mentally fit to stand trial. In the Kibera matter, where a child is a murder suspect of Multimedia University was alleged to have murdered another student. The first time the hospital gave a report that he was unfit to stand trial. A second test found out he's fit to take plea. Eric Mutinda. So the question now we are dealing with, what is the law of suicide? The Kenyan law, before the constitutional intervention of the case, the Kenyan law made it a criminal offense to attempt suicide. So if you attempted suicide and you are found to have attempted suicide, but you didn't succeed, you'll go in. It is a misdemeanor. This is found in section 225, 222, from the sections of the Penal Code. 2, there is what we call suicide pacts. Section 209 of the Penal Code provides what is a suicide pact. The suicide pact is where two people agree to end their life. For example, we say, you and your wife, you are tired with life. Or you and your brother, you are tired with your life. Or you and your friend, you are tired with your life. You go and hire an Airbnb. You reach there, you agree, we will put poison on our food. You order food, you take the poison. Both of you die. That is a suicide pact. Both of you are dead. But if one survives, it is a criminal offense. He will be arrested or she'll be arrested if she survived out of a suicide pact. 2, religious people have been known to bring people and convince them to take their lives. We have seen it in Mackenzie's matter in Mombasa. We saw it in America. We have seen it all over in Japan. Suicide pacts, where religious extremism takes people to commit suicide as a way they have been cheated to go to heaven. Those who remain without committing suicide, they are normally arrested and they are charged. Lastly, do you know under section 225 of the Penal Code, if you assist somebody to commit suicide, if you procure somebody to commit suicide, if you convince somebody to commit suicide, for example, you tell somebody your life is useless, my advice to you, just take a rope. Let me go and buy for you a rope. Hang yourself. Let me hang the rope for you. Just kill yourself. That is procuring or abetting or aiding suicide. If you get somebody poison, you go and buy cyanide and tell Cyrus, life maisha imekusumbua sana, wewe kunywa hii, you'll go to peace, you'll go to heaven. Aiding somebody to commit suicide is a criminal offense and you'll go in for life imprisonment. If you assist anybody to commit suicide in Kenya here, you'll go in for life imprisonment. So this question, whether is mental health the reason why people are committing suicide, is a question that was brought before the learned judge in the High Court of Kenya at Nairobi, Constitutional and Human Rights Division, petition number E45 of 2022, where Justice Mugambi, Lawrence Mugambi, on 9th day of January 2025, gave the following decision. The judge looked at the section that criminalizes suicide, that is section 226. He says, section 226 re-victimizes victims of mental illness, which is manifested through attempted suicide. They state that this section goes against the provision of non-discrimination on the basis of health and disability as provided for under Article 27. So, the judge looked at it and said, the judge looked at that provision and found out the following. He looked at the Mental Health Amendment Act number 27 of 2022 at section 2, which defines a person with mental illness as a person with mental illness means a person diagnosed by a qualified mental health practitioner to be suffering from mental illness, and includes a person diagnosed with alcohol or substance use disorder, and a person with suicidal ideation or behavior. So this is the definition of somebody with a mental disorder. One, it must be a doctor, a professional medical person to say you are suicidal. You have a mental health. I know in the village everybody calls, huyu ni mwenda, huyu ni wazimu. Achana na umari, ule ni wazimu ule. That is not the definition. So don't pretend because people call you wazimu, mwenda wazimu, mogoroki, you think that you are a mogoroki. You're not. A medical practitioner is the only one who can identify. Number 2, it is a person suffering mental illness, which includes alcohol and substance disorder. Also, somebody with suicidal behavior. It moves on to say, the judge found out that Article 27(4) of the Constitution of Kenya provides that the state shall not discriminate directly or indirectly against any person on any ground, including race, health, pregnancy, marital status, in our case, health status, and disability. Nobody should be discriminated by virtue of their health status or disability. We have said mental health is a medical issue. So anybody discriminating anybody based on that, you cannot discriminate a mlevi, somebody who has substance issues. He moves on to say, the Ministry of Health also has developed a suicide prevention strategy 2021-2026, whose major goal was a 10% reduction in suicide mortality by the year 2026. At page 15, the strategy acknowledges that mental illness are often associated with suicidal behavior, and the prevalence of the common mental illness in Kenya, which include depression and anxiety disorders, is about 10.3% of the population. 10% of the population suffers from depression. Additionally, 42% of those attending general medical facilities in Kenya have symptoms of severe depression. 42% of patients who go to Kenya hospital, going because they are pregnant, going because they have diabetes, going because they have other diseases, going because they want a dental problem sorted out, going because of accident-related issues. Anybody, out of 100 people visiting any hospital in this country, 42% are suffering from mental health. Wow. My brothers, 42%. Out of 100 people going to a hospital, 42 have mental health. My crew Cyrus, Bramwell, and Vivian are shocked with these figures. But they're the ones who do the research. They brought it. This is not court helicopter research. This is in the judgment, and this is the Ministry of Health Suicide Prevention Strategy 2021-2026 at page 15. It goes on to say, suicidal thoughts associated with the depression, lifetime preference is estimated at 7.9% of Kenyans. If you are talking of 100 people, 7 of them have thought to kill themselves. Have you yourself ever thought to kill yourself because you have no job? Have you ever yourself thought to kill yourself because your boyfriend or girlfriend has left you? Have you ever thought to kill yourself because life is so hard? You have tarmacked for 10 years. Have you ever thought to kill yourself because your business is not picking? Your business has collapsed. Have you ever thought to kill yourself because life is not working? Have you ever thought to kill yourself because your family is dysfunctional? Your parents can't cope. You're not in good books with your friends. Have you ever thought to kill yourself because nobody's affirming you? You want validation and nobody's affirming you. Are you mad with your colleagues because they think you are foolish? Have you ever thought to kill yourself? This figure, 7.9% of Kenyans have thought to kill themselves, to commit suicide. Wow. Let's move. The judge looked at what this means. He looked at several international law. He looked at the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, Article 7. He looked at the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, Article 4.1b. He looked at the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights at Article 12. He also looked at the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Article 16. The judge also looked at cases. For example, Maruti Shiripati Dubal versus the state of Maharashtra in India. He looked at several authorities from India, several authorities from America, and one case in America. He said suicide, as has already been noted, is a psychiatric problem and not a manifestation of criminal instinct. We are in agreement that suicide is really a call for help. Suicide is a call for help, not punishment in it. It is a call for help. The judge goes on to say, so what is needed to take care of a suicide-prone person are soft words and wise counseling of a psychiatrist, and not stony dealing by a jailer following harsh treatment meted out by a heartless prosecutor. It is not the heartless prosecutor prosecuting somebody who has attempted suicide. This is a serious message to the ODPP. You are heartless. You are brutal when prosecuting somebody who has attempted suicide. A judge who jails has been found to be brutalist and heartless. You are jailing a patient. And lastly, the prison warder locking a patient in prison. The judge, the prosecutor, and the prison warder have been inducted by the judge. Justice Mugambi goes on and says, calling suicide that it is self-murder is a cutaway of justifying and an indictment and trial of an unfortunate person who has not the fortitude to bear any more ills of life. His act may be a sin. Yes, it is a sin. People call it a sin That somebody who has attempted suicide can never go to heaven. That is why traditions, it is a taboo. You are buried outside. It is immoral. But what did the judge say? You call it a sin, you call it immoral, but it's not a crime. This is a result of a disease. A person who has attempted suicide should be taken to hospital and not to prison. What were the final orders of the judge? It is my finding that applying the purpose and effect principle of constitutional interpretation, Section 226 of the Penal Code, which criminalizes attempted suicide, offends Article 27 of the Constitution by criminalizing a mental health issue, thereby endorsing discrimination on the basis of health, which is unconstitutional. It also indignifies and disgraces victims of suicide ideation in the eyes of the community for actions that are beyond their mental control, which is a violation of Article 26. The existence of Section 226 exposes the survivors of suicide and potential victims with suicide ideation to possible reprisals, thereby eroding the right to have the highest attainable standard of the health envisaged in Article 43 of the Constitution. Therefore, the judge gave the following declaration. A declaration is hereby made that Section 226 of the Penal Code is unconstitutional for violating Article 27, 28, and 43 of the Constitution. That is Lawrence Mugambi, judge of the Constitutional Court. What is the import of this? We are bringing this because it is a serious human interest angle. Society is treating people who have mental health problems with a lot of failure to understand. People with mental health need love. People with mental health need care. People with alcohol-related issues need understanding. You can't blame them. These are patients. Society must understand them. We don't also fall into the category of blaming them. Wakili Dansley Omari telling you, we are together in this matter. Court helicopter feels it for those families that are taking their members, that they are bad. As I've said, every family, now this country has a person who has alcohol challenges. Every family has a person who has drug-related challenges. Every family has a person who has suicidal tendencies. It is no longer. If it is, we have it within our families. Let us exercise love, let us understand them, and let us not dehumanize them. Let us understand the reasons why they reached into this. Employers, understand your employees. They are suffering a lot of pressure. Financial pressure is massive. Employment pressure is massive. Domestic pressure is massive. Dysfunctional families is massive. Business failures are massive. The pressure for the young people is so bad. Don't blame them when you see them taking Muzinga. Understand the pressure. Don't blame them that they are prostitutes. Understand why. Don't blame those girls on the streets. Understand why. The judge is saying there needs to be understanding why. When you are a good employee, performance goes down. As a good employer, understand why. Don't start shouting. Don't start barking. Don't give threats. Because many people are walking in three-piece suit, in good clothes, but they have a lot of mental issues. The ladies and the young men, if you are dating, check whether the person you are dating has mental issues. Femicide is an aspect of mental issues. From Court Helicopter, we give a flower, we give a bouquet. Those ones who have taken, those who have these challenges into their arms and understood that they are patients. Wakili Dan Sanomari, finishing our show with love for those ones who have mental illness.